What makes you think that I'm an answer if you ain't mine? Even if you
All right, guys. Today we're gonna skip the intro a little bit. A couple of announcements to make. So, first things first, guys. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you really want to support. So, recently I've learned that YouTube has adjusted, we'll say, their swearing guidelines. Okay. I've learned that apparently YouTube doesn't want you swearing in the first 8 to 15 seconds of the video. Now, they're very vague on what you can actually say. From what I can tell, I've heard that the word ass, hell, and damn are okay, but whatever is considered swearing is apparently not. Now, we don't know what all the words are included in there. For all I know, us saying the N word is possibly a red flag for YouTube. Now, granted, in my videos, the intro is probably about a minute, 2 minutes long. Of course, you got the little montage in the beginning. The song plays, and then for about 15 to 20 seconds, I start begging, and then I start dancing. So I don't think that we are in violation of that in the first 8 to 15 seconds. However, I want to play it safe because recently on the channel, like I've said recently, we haven't seen a lot of growth, and I don't know if that's because the content is trash. You guys can let me know down in the comments if it's trash. Um, but I just think YouTube is up to the shenanigans. All right. Now remember, any valid criticism of my channel will be met aggressively with the race card. Okay, so be careful because I got it sitting right here next to my EBT card. Anyway, so we're talking about She-Hulk again. Apparently, there is a writer for the She-Hulk comics that absolutely had a meltdown on Twitter yesterday. Okay, he came out, he defended the show, he got roasted, and he started blocking people. Now, I always tell you this, guys. In the entertainment industry right now, there is no room for assertive men. It's no room for it anymore. It appears that the industry has been completely ravaged by feminists, progressives, and social justice warriors. And what I mean by this is women have sunk their claws into the industry in a way that any type of masculinity exuded in this industry could result in you losing your job. And so what they've essentially done is they've cut the balls off of every man in this industry. So when you get a man who comes out here and makes a statement, and I'm talking about all of it, the Hollywood, comic books, whatever. Any man that comes out here and delivers an opinion and gets any sort of backlash for it whatsoever, the first thing he does is starts blocking people. And one of the things that I've seen on Facebook for a while is that women are saying things like men who they didn't know that men block people and they think it's sassy. I think that's weird for a woman to call a man gay for blocking someone. But I do agree that there's something very feminine about a man who makes an opinion and can't take the vitriol or the pushback from it, so he starts blocking people. Anyway, so we'll get into this article by Screen Rant. They're trying to say that this guy says the She-Hulk comic writer firmly shuts down the MCU show accuracy criticism. I don't want to read what they have to say. I just want to go to, okay, so here was his tweets. I can't believe how small this is. He says, anyone saying She-Hulk, the She-Hulk show wasn't comic book accurate. I'm the guy who has written more issues of She-Hulk than anyone. I've read every single comic from every She-Hulk run, and I'm saying for the record, it is the most comic book accurate show in the MCU. I mean, listen. Well, hold on, let me finish. People arguing the twerking scene in She-Hulk wouldn't have happened in comics. Mom had She-Hulk jumping rope in a bikini. I had her karaoke, dancing, partying so hard it was causing structural. Oh, now it expands. It was causing structural damage to Avengers Mansion. This is the hill they want to die on. So, first of all, I'm not a big I'm not a big She-Hulk comic person. I don't know what's. I like the idea of She-Hulk. Like I told y'all, my She-Hulk, if I was to write She-Hulk show, mine would be really different. What I would have done is I would have made Jen like this really like successful but like hard ass lawyer that nobody wants to be around. She's like an attorney that everyone fears. They think they're gonna get a conviction, and then she walks in the door and they're like, holy shit, it's Jen Walters, we're gonna lose. And then when she tries to celebrate and celebrates winning her case, she offers to bring her friends out, but nobody wants to hang with her because Jennifer is a hard ass and nobody wants to be around her. And so when the thing happens where she becomes She-Hulk, the She-Hulk version of her is much more fun, much more out there, much more party friendly, and everybody loves to be around her. But that becomes a problem because She-Hulk is a little bit too much fun and she doesn't take the superhero thing seriously enough to the point where she has to balance being Jennifer Walters, who is a hard ass and she takes life too seriously, and then She-Hulk, who doesn't take life seriously at all. That would have been a much more fun She-Hulk to deal with. Instead, you got this feminist version of She-Hulk. Now, as far as the twerking scene, for one, it's not earned, right? First of all, the problem. So you can make that argument. I hear your argument. You had her doing a lot of wild stuff in the comics. My apologies. You had her doing a lot of wild stuff in the comics, and that's fine. But it wasn't earned. The show isn't funny. Nobody likes Meg Thee Stallion. And the comedy just wasn't earned. So to look up and see this character twerking in a very stale and kind of way, it was like bad to look at. So I mean, like, look at this. Now in this article, like look at She-Hulk's face, man. Like that's gross. That is absolutely gross. Anyway, but what they did compare it to was this scene where Tony Stark had a stripper pole on his private jet, I believe it was. So people upset over She-Hulk twerking for fun with the celebrity that she liked somehow have no problem with Tony Stark having a stripper pole in his private jet with women Tony Stark was paying to dance for his pleasure. Spare me with this newfound outrage. And one the female characters had agency. We're doing it to have fun for themselves, and the other, they were being paid to service a man's wants and desires. No, you want to know why this is bullshit? Because we're talking about a billionaire on his private jet. We're talking about an attorney in her office. So please cut the bullshit. Now, if she would have did this, if She-Hulk would have went to the club, I would have written this. I would have written her winning a case and going to the club to celebrate with her friends, because in the beginning of the show, in my version of the show, when Jennifer Walters wanted to celebrate a case and she invited her friends out, they all were like making up excuses as to stuff they had to do because nobody wants to party with Jennifer Walters because she's a hard ass. And so later on in the show, when she wins a case as She-Hulk, she goes to the club. And if I really wanted to use Meg Thee Stallion, I'd much rather use Cardi B or somebody else other than Meg Thee Stallion, because I don't like Meg Thee Stallion. But let's just say Meg Thee Stallion, because for whatever reason. And so Meg Thee Stallion is performing, and then I'd have She-Hulk show up and dance on stage with Meg Thee Stallion, twerking. Not in a suit. Not in a suit. But because she's at work in a professional environment, what woman, I mean, maybe at Twitter, you used to be able to, but what woman, especially a black woman, by the way, can go to her job in a corporate environment and twerk have her boss see her twerk and not get fired. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. So this is why nobody liked this shit, and it's not funny. It's just not funny. So anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. I will talk to y'all a little bit later.
Let's go, let's go. Hey, hey. Beat that thing down like you started attention, my baby. You had some plans with your man, just tell him to cancel, my baby.